feel like I'm wasting my life. Wake up, eat, scroll, work, sleep. Again and again and again and again. I don't think we're supposed to notice that though. It's just easier not to. Why do I even care? Well, everything started a couple weeks ago. It was a Monday, and I woke up very, very tired, which wasn't unusual, but it was the perfect excuse to take it easy. And so I did. It was a very slow day. By the end of it, I still felt exhausted. I thought, maybe I just need to keep resting. So I tried again the next day, and the day after that. And by the end of the week, no surprise, nothing changed. So just out of curiosity, I checked my average screen time. 4.5 hours. I guess it's not terrible, I've seen worse. But if you actually do the math, 4.5 hours a day, stretched over a year, turns into around 68 days. That's over 2 full months of the year on my phone. And if I keep going like this, that will turn into 1/6 of my waking life. So why am I letting this happen? Especially if it doesn't even make me feel good. I guess I just feel underwater most of the time. Like I'm holding my breath. Because I know the moment I go up for air, I'll have to go back to my life. So I stay there as much as I can. But it wasn't always like this. Well, at least not when I was younger. As a kid, I spent most of my time creating. It was just how I navigated through life. I created things to understand myself and understand the world around me. Now, as an adult, I spend most of my time consuming content, information, options, products. Creating is still there, technically. It just feels heavier, like it needs a reason or a result or proof that it's worth the effort. I don't want to feel like I'm wasting my life anymore. And that's when I had a thought. What would happen if I replaced the time I spend consuming with creating instead? I'm gonna be very honest, I don't really have a plan. I just wrote down on this piece of paper I found under my bed a bunch of different creative projects and ideas I've wanted to do for a while, but I keep procrastinating. And I also logged out of social media. For the next 7 days, I think I'm just gonna try to spend my average screen time trying to complete those projects. And I think by the end of it, I'll have a better idea if my thesis was correct. A couple of weeks ago, I had this funny dream where everything was in black and white, and I was running around chasing the sound of this orchestra. And I walked down an alley, and when I got to the end of it, I was in the middle of the stage, and everything had this very intense old Hollywood feeling, I guess. And I've been wanting to, I don't know, create a portrait out of that dream. So that was the first thing I put on that list, and is the first thing I'm gonna try to do. I was really trying to have fun and go with the flow, but things weren't really going the way I planned in my head. I took as many pictures as I could before the sun set. I don't have enough light anymore, but I was here thinking, oh, it's sad. Now I don't have sunlight, so I gotta stop taking pictures. I'm just gonna organize my stuff and wait, I don't have social media. So what am I gonna do? Like lay down and go to sleep? It's like Saturday. I think I'm just gonna keep going. And I did. But looking back, I wish I didn't, because things started to go wrong, and I ended up going to bed feeling very uneasy. The reason was I wasn't satisfied with my result, even though the whole point was to not care about it at all. The next day I woke up determined, and I had big plans. So my next challenge, it's gonna be drawing. And this was the perfect excuse to buy a new sketchbook that actually I haven't bought in years because I get so intimidated. Well, when I was younger, I used to be that kid that liked drawing, and I was known for that. And I think that really fucked with my head because the older I got, the more pressure I put on myself to be better and better. And I wouldn't allow myself to have fun. So I don't even remember the last time I touched a piece of paper and tried drawing. And every single time I tried, it was this big portraits. It has to be this big thing to showcase, and it would drain me so much, and I would be so upset when it didn't go well. So I bought a sketchbook, and I'm not gonna fall into the trap that I always fall with sketchbooks. This is what I do. I rip every single page out that I don't like, and the sketchbooks look crazy. I'm not gonna do this anymore. This is supposed to be fun, and I don't know. Hold me accountable if you see me ripping pages, please. I was using this book, the Heads and Portraits, the human body. That's when I started with the face composition. They don't look good. It's more for me to understand the proportions. It's 12:52, and I still have the whole day. Time has passed very calmly, and this is weird because normally on the weekends I feel like I blink and the day's over, and I've done so much. I'm enjoying this. Sitting outside for a while helped me think about the day before. I realized that even though my intention was right, my motivation wasn't. I thought I was creating for the sake of creating, but honestly, I was just creating because I was scared. Scared of failing at this idea of not wasting my life. So when I didn't get the feeling I expected right away, I got really upset. It felt like proof that I was still doing it wrong, but today felt different. While I was drawing, I noticed I was not waiting for it to mean something. I was just doing it for fun. I kind of felt like a kid. Yesterday I was watching myself create, and today I was just creating. And I think that's the point I keep missing. So I had to move back in because it's very rainy and very windy, and I'm having fun. I'm really enjoying today. But my room is a mess, and I'm gonna clean up so that I can keep drawing in peace. While I was organizing my room, I found this crochet project, which was supposed to be a scarf, but with a headpiece attached to it. But I never got to the headpiece part. I think I'm done with drawing for today, so sounds like a good opportunity to pick it right up. So this is how far I've got, but I need to pause now because I need to get ready for the week. And to me, the most interesting part was seeing how time felt different by being actively creating instead of passively consuming. And I wonder how I'm gonna do that during the week. The week split itself into two parts, and the first was about noticing time. I don't have long periods of free time, but I realized I have many small spaces, and I think that's where the 4.5 hours of screen time were mainly hiding. Now that I'm not scrolling, the pauses are still here. I just have to decide what to do with them. Sometimes I crochet, sometimes I drew, and sometimes I did nothing. Scrolling wasn't really resting me, it was keeping me away from my own thoughts, my moods, the feelings I kept avoiding. And I realized that part of what I was looking for was learning how to stay in those moments with myself instead of immediately escaping them. Now, the second part of the week, I'd say was about identity. I first noticed when I was drawing during the weekend, but it became impossible to ignore when I sat down at the piano. I hadn't played in a long time. The piano was never just a piano to me. It was something I'd known myself as for years. I cannot describe how nice was the feeling of finally playing the piano again. Being there with the music. But there was a little problem. And there wasn't much I could do about it at that point. I realized I wasn't as good as I remembered, and that made me irrationally upset. It felt personal, like it was saying something about who I was. During that day, in those small pauses, I started understanding what was happening. I wasn't letting the piano be an experience. I was using it to explain myself. So the next day I tried something different. I picked up the guitar, and I made a very conscious decision. Getting it right or wrong wouldn't mean anything about me. It wasn't really about taking the meaning away, but letting the guitar be what it is, and letting myself exist without being explained by it. And that's when it clicked to me. Creating only becomes heavy when you use it to prove something about yourself. Creating like a kid is letting the experience be the experience, without filtering through your fears or expectations. During this week, I learned that creating is how you relate to life. It's noticing what's possible and choosing to participate instead of watch. And once you see it that way, everything becomes an opportunity. And creating like a kid specifically is meeting those opportunities with a lot of curiosity. And curiosity is the only thing that can keep you long enough to move through with them. I might be wrong, but maybe creating like a kid isn't about making things at all. It's about staying curious until the outcome stops being the point.